Hello YouTube, this is Alexander again. Today I want to talk here about some tips, soldering tips coming from AliExpress, and I want to make a video about that because I want to inform some people about very cheap product coming from AliExpress. In my case, I have some handle like this one which are absolutely fantastic to make some microelectronic, and for the ergonomic of this handle, it's very nice according your use to have it. And of course you need a special chip for that. You need a GBC chip. This model is coming from GBC soldering station, and the chips from this kind of handle, which is the 210, are quite expensive. So the solution is to find some tip on AliExpress made in China, and you of course you wish then they can afford you a good quality for a good price, because mostly if you're not a professional, if your workbench is not a professional, you can feel the pricey things coming from expensive manufacturer, which can sell this chip very expensive. One chip like that can cost something like 60 euro with, or $60, which can be very expensive actually. So to use this kind of handle, you need this kind of chip, and the solution is to find it on AliExpress market. So my device, my soldering device is Exxon, and I use Exxon chip, which are the genuine tips coming from the soldering station, and they make the job actually. So because I wanted to make more secure my work and my workbench, I wanted to buy some other tips, and I found some not very expensive, even if the cost is about $10 or 10 euro maybe for the tips, and I'm quite disappointed because it's a very the low-cost chip like that are very bad quality, and more the chip is little, more smaller is the chip, and more little is the quality of the chip, and the life is very shorter. Those kind of chip actually didn't exceed the life of 1 day of use, and this brand is actually i2C brand. This brand, if you want to buy some chips like this on AliExpress, I highly recommend to you to not buy this brand, which is actually, because I have purchased some many tips from this brand, and actually I'm very disappointed. So maybe I think it will be better to make more money on it and buy something more expensive for the life of your device. And if I compare the Exxon, because this is the chip which comes from with the device I use currently on my bench, this is Exxon. Exxon make a good tips actually. I don't have to complain about that, even if in the very little brand, the little model of tips for the 115, you can have some issue with it, because more smaller they are, more fragile they are also. So it's I feel like wasting my money with this very little tip. So actually all those tips here are i2C brand. i2C brand, okay. And if you sometimes look some video on YouTube, and you can find some electronic workshop talking about this kind of brand, you can see some complaint about this brand. Of course you need to make your own opinion, and this is what I made actually. So all those chips comes from the same seller actually, and this one is shorted, this one is open, and this one is not recognized by the unit. And the short circuited chip made the device in ARM mode, because on the display it will show you then the device is short circuited, which is a very bad thing actually. So those devices have not 2 hours of use, and they died completely. So this is $10 chips actually, $10 chips for 1 hour of use. And mainly those brand comes from the i2C manufacturer, which is a seller of soldering station also. I saw a user, electronic user, I don't remember the name, sorry for that. If I remember, I will say it. He tried to make another advertising on his video about this brand, but actually sometimes the soldering station works, sometimes she won't. So I'm not very happy about this brand, and actually I make some 2 weeks to try those chips on my soldering station, and after just some hours of use, they are useless now. And I write a mail to the manufacturer, to the seller, sorry, and he really don't care, because when I told this to AliExpress, they told me I had to make some complaint before 2 weeks because I wait too much. And so all those chips here are $10 chips, and they are just good for the garbage. So maybe if you want to buy some chips like this, you can count on the Exxon brand, Exxon maybe, and there is maybe some other brand like this, but if the price is very good, I think it will not have a long life scale actually. And if you use many hours this kind of chip, I think this is not good for the job. But for the Exxon chip, which are here, they are very nice actually. I'm very happy with this brand. They feel very solid, very comfortable to use, and I have here some bevel chips, some cutter chips, some conical tips, and very sharp chips. I didn't use these chips for the moment because I have some other chips for working with. And so as you can see, this is the case for Exxon chips, and you can see they make the good job according to the detail of the casing of this chips. And for the 210 chips, you will have a casing like that, and you will have a lens here to see the chips, because sometimes they will magnify the chips with this kind of lens, so you can see clearly what the chips they are in this case. Also for the 115 chips, they use this little casing, which is quite nice actually. So for this one, I don't remember where it comes from. This is i2C casing. I don't really remember, but for many casing they just use cardboard like this, which I think is the cheapest way to make cheaper the product. So they chip out on the product by making some cardboard like this for the enclosure. So what I have to tell now is actually GBC chips like this are very expensive. are very expensive. If you are not a professional, you cannot afford this kind of tips, because it's $60 of the tip like this. So if you pay this kind of tips, something like $20, okay, it will be a good bargain actually. But those tips which are like $60 for the GBC brand, you will purchase it for $10, and I think it will not make the job. So maybe it will be better to make some more dollars on it and buy another brand. And I give you just the advice to not buy this tip. The seller absolutely don't care about your mail and your complaint, and this is just money throwing by the window. So this is just the video of today. I hope you like this video, and I tell you, see you soon. It was Alexander again.